This is Daily Vlog number 171. And these are issues 141 and 142 of the Uncanny X-Men, otherwise known as The Days of Futures Past. They're the comics the movie that's out now is based on. And while they're very different from the movie, or I should say, while the movie is very different from them, the movie was still pretty good. But the comics are better. Actually, I want to point something out to you. You see that right there? That's Chris Claremont's signature. He had one of the longest runs on the series and created some of the most amazing stories and characters that still resonate in comics today. I had a chance to meet Chris Claremont at a convention one time, and it was fantastic. I mean, there I was with my book bag filled with comics I wanted creators to sign. I mean, they had writers and artists and inkers and editors and even the letterers were there, and I wanted all of them to sign the different stuff that I had. Because that's what you did. It was cool to meet your favorite artists and talk to them about, their craft. And so I got to meet Chris Claremont and geek out with him a little bit about some of the things that he was doing in X-Men and why he did them. It was an awesome experience for me. Why am I talking about this? Well, because Wizard World is going on in Philadelphia right now. That's right, a 4-day comic convention that is actually so much more than a comic convention. It's everything science fiction and fantasy. They have comics and graphic novels and sci-fi and fantasy books. They have TV show stuff and movie stuff and meet and greets with some of the stars of all of these things. Opportunities for photo ops and handshakes and just to gaze upon their transcendent beauty. Well, okay, that's stretching it a little far. Comic conventions have grown and changed so much since I was a kid. I mean, I remember going to conventions with my buddy Joe, towing boxes of comics on hand trucks, knowing that all we had to do was wait in line long enough and we could get our stuff signed. Nowadays, you gotta pay to just approach certain people. You gotta pay just to get their signature on one thing. Heck, I remember for Chris Claremont being the last guy in line, and there was nobody behind me, so he and I just chit-chatted for a while, and he signed every book I brought. He's a pretty cool dude. Now, I'm not saying this to complain about the modern comic convention. I understand it. But back when I was going to them, it was not a cool thing to do. It was not as big a production as it is now, simply because there wasn't the market for it. We were a bunch of pimply-faced geeks with our comic books, coming to these conventions to meet other pimply-faced geeks and the creators who at one time were probably pimply-faced geeks themselves. But then something cool happened. Or not so cool. Actually, I'll leave it to you to decide whether it was a good thing or not. Comic book geek culture took off. And now people from all over are proudly proclaiming they're geeks about one thing or another. And that's fine. I'm not going to say that you're not a geek because you don't know that I think if you're really passionate about something, if you really enjoy it, or if it resonates with you in a way that few other things do, and you just kind of surround yourself with it, whether reading all the books, seeing all the movies, watching all the episodes, collecting all the figurines, action figures, collectibles, then fine, you're a geek. But it is kind of interesting to me to see the giant production that comic conventions have now. For me to go tomorrow, it would cost me just for the day $55 to get in. And that's without wanting to meet or greet anyone famous. If I want to meet Nathan Fillion, kind of do want to meet Nathan Fillion, I gotta pony up over $100. I still want to do it though, but I can't. No. Actually, I'm filming this vlog simply to kind of lament the fact that I can't go tomorrow. I have too many things that I have to do. Even though I haven't really been out to a comic book convention in over a decade, it's still something I think about every year. Because I remember the great fun that we had when we were younger. Maybe next year. Definitely next year. I hope next year. What is it that you geek out about? I mean, it might not be comic books, but I'm pretty sure there's something you geek out about. Is it Bruce Springsteen? Is it Hummels? Or trains? Or stamps? Or coins? Or fingernails? No, I don't want to know about that one. Let me know how far you've gone to indulge that thing you geek out about. Well, this has been Daily Vlog number 171. 194 to go. I'll talk to you tomorrow.